guys. Welcome back to the So Lux Life podcast. I'm super excited today. It's been a long time, but we have a very good guest today. This is Derrick Gooden with Gooden Inspection Services. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing well. Today has been a busy day.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, same. Pretty much the same. Got a chance to I guess I'll just go ahead and share. I got a chance to attend and sponsor like one of our first broker breakfasts. So, just got a chance to meet some more realtors and just more exposure. So we're grateful for that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Y'all had a good turnout?
Very good turnout. Very good turnout. Over 100 agents in there. Conversations about all things real estate. So very good turnout. Very good exposure, and look forward to doing more with the bar. Tell me a little bit about your day.
Yeah, started out. Woke up, hopped on some client phone calls, went to the gym. That's always fun. I was supposed to shoot content with a client, but we're gonna do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Met with a client at a property, ate some lunch, and
Okay.
here we are.
Let's go.
Here today. So.
Excited to be here. Excited to be here. This is long overdue.
It is.
Yeah, so excited to be here.
Absolutely. So, for the people that don't know you, just tell us a little bit about you. Where did you grow up?
Yeah. So
how did you get into home inspections?
Yeah, absolutely. So Birmingham is home. So all of my development that's happened right here in this great city. So so my background, I used to work at a utility company. So for about 14 years, and 7 of those years I worked in the utility side, so the maintenance side of it, and then the last 7 years I worked on the people side, so human resources. I bring that up because I often tell people that I feel like I was uniquely graced for home inspections, given both experiences. Just being able to combine it. So, like on the technical side, I learned how to do plumbing. I learned how to do some semi-skilled contractor work and electrical. Then on the human resource side, I learned how to interact with people, how to communicate bad news, and just how to adjust to different levels of readiness. And all of that impacts what I do as a home inspector, how I communicate to our clients, and ultimately focusing on the client experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, clients are our best referrals, like our best form of business, just
Right.
word of mouth. So, did you know any inspectors before you got into it, or is it just something you just came up with?
Yeah. So I really didn't. I remember. So I got a few things that I think about. I remember what the guy charged me for my home inspection when I purchased my first home.
How much was it?
At the time, this was 2015. I think he charged me like $375 for the home inspection, and I remember how long he was there. I was like, wait a minute, like
How long was he there?
Well, he was there a little over an hour. The report was good or fair, but I remember like that. I was like, wait a minute, that's something I could do. I was able to comprehend the report, just from my previous experiences, and I was like, oh, okay, this might be all right. And fast forward, this is 2015, and fast forward, COVID hit, and then again, I was working in human resources at the time, so I was on the non-revenue side, so like not the essential worker. So, it was a great time for me to pivot. I always wanted to get in, still want to get into flipping houses, but I wanted to have like a background or at least the education on it, and that education turned into an obsession, and we wrapped the business around it, and to God be the glory. We're 3 years. We're 3 years in.
So how was the jump for you from going from, when you have a job, you can expect that paycheck to come like clockwork. Like, you know how much you're going to get paid. You know what day is going to come. Whereas being an entrepreneur, you don't really know what day you're going to get paid or how many clients are going to call you or if it's going to be slow. So how was that transition for you?
Yeah, no, So yeah, that was really tough because you're right. You give up that security. You give up the knowing that the check is going to come in this day, and it really becomes eat what you kill. I
Absolutely.
I like to contribute a lot of my confidence to my circle. So like my wife pushed me, my friends, they were very encouraging uh,
Hmm.
when it came to it. They saw this was something that I identified with, that I truly embodied. Even in my earlier, like starting out, uh, they saw me in this more than I did myself. So that gave me a lot of confidence, a lot of push to go out and try this on my own.
Hmm. Yeah, we have a question here.
Mhm.
If a home is being sold as is, should the potential home buyer still pay for a home inspection?
Especially if it's being sold as is. because so what you run into, so here's the thing. So when you purchase a home, you want to know the condition of it before you go into it.
Hmm.
Whether it's to be an investor, whether it's to be uh, occupied by your family, you want to know what's going on. I can tell you how many. I can tell you. Well, you see all the time as we work together, like how many uh, how many safety defects we run into, how many maintenance areas that
Hmm.
the average buyer or person isn't aware of. Uh, we get a chance to really bring that to their attention, bring that to the front of them before they make that purchase, just so they know. So that's a good question. Yeah, homes being sold as is. Yeah, you want to have someone go out there and perform an inspection on it so that you know what's going on. So yeah.
And even sometimes I've had sellers say that they were selling their home as is, and we
Mhm.
would still get it inspected. And we would just ask them, like, hey, some stuff came up. Are we willing to negotiate on the price or something? Like, I know you don't want to fix anything, but can y'all come down on the price?
Right.
And a lot of times they go with that because it's like, hey, do you want to walk away over, $2,000 worth of repairs?
Right. And
So,
that's the benefit of, or a benefit of it, because that in itself is communicating value. If you $400 for an inspection, you find greater than $4,000 worth of repairs. That's that. I think I think it's worth the investment of getting a home inspection.
yeah, absolutely. And buyers, I do want you to know this is a buyer's expense. So this isn't anything that you can ask the sellers to pay for, but Alabama is a buyer beware state. So you definitely want to make sure you are getting your home inspected by a licensed
Yeah.
inspector,
Good
not
point.
your uncle,
Good
not
point.
your cousin, somebody that helps build on houses. No, like somebody licensed and bonded, because that's a part of you being licensed, right? Like you have to carry certain insurances and things like that just to cover anything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You have to care. So I tell my clients like this, when um, I carry errors and omission insurance, liability insurance. So if I mess up something in the house, we can cover it.
Mm.
It's not it's you have someone to cover it.
Oops.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean because so with a house, there's so many elements of a house, so many elements that work together,
Hmm.
and you want to know, again, you really want to know what's going on in the house. So hire a professional to go out and inspect the house so you know what's going on.
Yeah. So once we do find stuff, you're good at going back out. So that's one thing I like about your business. You're quick with it. You get out there and you're very thorough. Because some sellers, oh sorry here. But some sellers will say that they fixed something and then we send you back out and you're like, hey, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. How often do you run into that?
I run into fairly often, especially when it comes to reinspection, especially
Mhm.
because it's a lot of uh, yeah, it's a lot of contractors out here that say they're doing things and they'll send bogus receipts, saying that they've had this electrical issue taken care of, and I get back out there and find the same issue, um, or worse, amateur work done, which is unsafe. So definitely want to make sure you get a reinspection for your larger things. Now, visible things that we see throughout the house, maybe a door is out of square, things like that. You can probably make it out of there and say, okay, that's been corrected, or it hasn't, or we'll fix that.
Right.
But for your like major ticket items, anything safety related, you definitely want to have a licensed home inspector get back out there, check it out. So if
Yes.
not the contractor that was deferred. So yeah.
Yeah. So a lot can houses are expensive.
Right.
And a lot can happen. So you definitely want to make sure those big ticket items are taken care of. So what are some steps that homeowners can take to prepare their house for the market?
Homeowners?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if
So
you're ready to sell, what are some things that they can do off the top of your head that you commonly see wrong with homes?
for older HVAC systems, I recommend having those service.
Mm.
That helps accelerate things, especially with the buyer. Even with the roof, if it's older than 10 years old, you want to make sure that it's been certified by a roofer. Uh, some more things. I mean, really in preparation for me to go out, making sure things are accessible. So I need to be able to get to electrical panels. I need to be able to get to water heaters, the furnace, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, as people are transitioning or moving to another home, they'll store things in the way, and that creates limitations on during the home inspection. So those are some just some small things, some tips they can do in terms of getting the property prepared for the home inspection.
Yeah, so what's like one of the craziest things that you've seen during a home inspection?
Man, so it was maybe like 3 months ago. Uh, I was down 280 East Harpersville,
Mm,
and was in the attic. And this is my first time now going through the attic, going through crawl space. I see a lot of things. So I've seen squirrels, I've seen possums, I've seen snake skin. Uh, I mean, vermin activity. I've seen a lot. I've never come as close in contact with a snake as I did in the attic. And I
was it a
mean,
big one?
listen, the snake. So it was in a curl pattern, and it was facing. It wasn't facing me. I had the advantage on it. I had just enough time to get on Instagram just to show like that I saw something.
Don't run from the snake. Get the
And I
picture.
got out of there. So it's no man. That had to be like that had to be like one of the wildest. And of course that put a limitation on further. I mean further inspecting the attic area. Recommend hey, we need a pest control pro in here. And I ended up going back out there, but yeah, it was that's a limitation for me. That's where my I told you I grew up in the city, Birmingham. Like we don't just hey, we don't just
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
when I saw that was that was yeah.
That's an experience. I've seen the snake one good time and I won't even talk about it, but like it changed my life. Like I couldn't even sleep good for the next
Listen, yeah.
couple of nights.
Yeah. Imagine not being able to I'm in the attic, right? So like I don't have the mobility to move around like that. So
Yeah. How close were you to it?
so I got within 6 feet of it. And then I heard it
Hissing.
yes, yeah. I was like,
Ugh.
yeah, so that would be my that was not my craziest experience. So
Did the buyer still buy the house?
they did, yeah. It had a ton. Again, I was in Harpersville, so yeah. I mean, they did end up purchasing the house.
Yeah, I'm like, we are gonna have to pull out. We saw
So
something in the attic. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so typically how long does a home inspection take to conduct, like from start to finish, on like a regular average 13 to 1500 square foot house?
So typically for houses that size, I budget about maybe 2.5 hours, depending on if it has crawl space, just what's basement, like what it takes. But one of the things that keeps me accountable is having a routine.
Mm,
As I go through a house, that that's what allows me to time my inspections. So usually when I usually book maybe two a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, for those reasons. So to go through the house as thorough as possible with a routine, but also lend time for the client experience. Because I think that's the true value add, the client, the connection points. Because what I
mm.
don't, what I one of the things I learned from like my early starting as a home inspector, you don't just shove nobody a 50-page report, and that's
Figure
that's
it
that's
out, figure it out, read what's wrong.
that's a right, right. That's a lot. That's a lot to digest, and you do your clients a disservice. Realtor partners a disservice when you do that. So it's always ask that the client comes on the back end, uh, and that way I get a chance to connect with them. Hey, we walk through. Uh, hey, this is one of the things. These are some of the things that I saw. I just wanted to point it out to you, so they have context with it too.
Hmm.
Because you could say a GFC happened before. You could say something like a GFCI outlet, and that
That's
acronym
big.
acronym
Like, oh my gosh, it's the electrical
for
problem, right?
right way over their head. They see it in red. Oh, this house, we
Right.
condemn this house. When that's a $60 fee. Maybe 100 with the electrician, but but being able to have that, like, bring that to their attention, that this is a major in terms of safety, right?
Yeah.
GFCI outlets should be everywhere within 6 feet of water, kitchen, bathroom, garage, laundry room, outside, those areas. Um, it's not a big deal to get that fixed. It's important to get it fixed. So we want to move with urgency, but it's not a super expensive
Yeah.
item.
So for those that are listening and don't know, what exactly does that outlet do? Does it like trigger something once water gets close to it so it doesn't cause an electrical fire? Or what's the purpose of I guess that particular outlet?
Yeah. So walk with me. All right. So we're in the kitchen. All right. We got a sink full of water. We got our air fryer up there. It's plugged up. We just got through cooking in there. All right. We moving. Got the radio playing. We dancing. Accidentally knocked that over into
Mm,
the water. Air fryer into the water
while it's plugged up and
while it's
on.
while it's plugged up. So what'll happen? It's called a ground fault circuit interrupter. So it'll kill power to the outlet, so the client don't run the risk of getting electrocuted. And just one of the safety features one of the safety items that we check for in all wet locations. So
That's good to know. A lot of people don't know that. So, and I guess that's something that homeowners could do prior to putting their home on the market, just making sure all of those outlets in
our
those
ground,
particular locations are what they need to be.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Add that to the preparation for sale list. If you
pre-listing
don't, yeah,
appointment, right?
right. If you don't have it, that's definitely going to get called out in an inspection.
Yeah,
So
and do you have certain contractors that you recommend, or do you just kind of let the buyers handle that on their own?
yeah. So with that, I try not to. So I work with you, and you may have contractors that you use in your circle of influence. I always give the agent priority, but if the agent does not have anyone, I'll be a resource for them, uh,
Mhm.
because I do have contractors that I have relationships with, that I know do a thorough job and make sure that it's corrected. But I try to honor my agents by allowing them to, share their resources.
Yeah. So, what is one thing? It like if we see this on our inspection report, you would be like, run from this house. Like, what is one major thing that if we see is like a automatic red flag. Don't do it.
Yeah. Hmm. So a lot of that's based on tolerance. You never know what
Person
people
can
can
put
handle.
up with, right?
Right. So like so one thing I always make sure I mention, and again, there's value in having contractors because any issue that
Mm-hmm.
occurs in the house, it can be fixed. Now that what fix look like, it may come with a cost. It may be replacing a roof. It may be a structural issue where you could, put you got half-inch gap in the foundation and it's bowing downstairs because of moisture intrusion. That's gonna cost to get realigned, but it can be fixed. So I always like to lead with that attitude instead of just because it's not my role. My role is to provide information on the house condition at
Mm-hmm.
certain point in time. It's not my job to condemn a house. It's not my job to tell you what you can and not do.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I truly enjoy about it because you're educating, you're making sure someone's aware of what they're about to. People spend a lot of time in their house. People spend a lot of money on houses.
Mm-hmm.
So for their
Before
largest
we get at the
investment,
house. Yeah.
yeah. So for their largest investment, you get a chance to really communicate to them, hey, these are my findings. These are the things I think you should address.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that I think we could like older windows. Hey, that's something that, I mean, will need to be replaced, but,
Yeah.
I don't see any issues with it. So, just talking, it's all communication.
Yeah. And I try to warn my buyers beforehand, like, okay, when you get the report, stuff is gonna be on there. Like that's their job to find things wrong with the home.
Yeah.
So, expect the unexpected. Like, don't let it freak you out. But I do understand, like, first time home buyers, a lot of times they want the home to be perfect.
Yeah.
But just kind of speak on the importance of not focusing on, I guess, cosmetic issues.
Hmm.
Like if there's something like a weather strip or something wrong with a door not aligned.
Yeah.
Um, that
Yeah.
really would be considered major, would
Nah,
it?
nah, so my report software, I've been tweaking it, throughout the time in which I've been an inspector. I like it because it's clean. It gives you a chance to like label it. So oftentimes things like that, like weather strip and door damage, that'll fall in a minor category, right? And that's more of a DIY thing. That's something you don't call me back for a reinspection for no weather strip.
I just
No,
look to see if they put it in right.
right. You can't do that. Y'all not going by there for the final walkthrough. Like, don't call me. But in all seriousness, just labeling like that, and what I found is that helps the buyer understand. Like, okay, this is not a major. Uh, you were talking about first time home buyers. Those are my favorite. I love them because of their energy. They're so excited.
Yes. I
They
love first time home buyers.
they bring an energy that I like to. Well, most of them bring an energy that I like. So for that reason, I like for them to be there. Like
Mm-hmm.
season buyers, you could come. Way it works, I work for you. So if you come at any time during the inspection, I'm fine with that. But first time home buyers, I really like to walk with them and just
Yeah.
it's kind of holding their hand, especially if they're buying like a historic home. Um, you want to make sure that they know what's going on because it can get, and you don't want uh, now like my report is going to reflect what I saw in the terms minor defect, major defect, safety, maintenance concern, but you want them to see that.
So
So
yeah, this is kind of what one looks like, just if y'all are wondering
okay,
here. Yeah. See how professional this is? He will send this right to you. Record side. So can you kind of walk us through an inspection, I would say, this one? Just kind
yeah,
of tell us what this stuff means up here, and we'll kind of go through some other parts of it.
sure. So right there in green, we have 83 items. That's the number of items that we inspect. So that's just tallying up. That's to show you that we do the work. So the way, and as we go down, we'll show you that the summary page, it comes to the front. So the first thing you'll get is the summary page. It has all the defects. It has everything that we deem to be major. So red would be major, right? So this roof is nearing its useful life. There's some uplifted shingles. Number of things we found on here. Then we'll go to maintenance things. So like to the right of that, that's rubber flashing. It was damaged. What's going on with that? Yeah, rubber flashing. I think it was damaged. And then if you go down, we'll see things that fall into like a more minor category, like resecuring the flashing around the fence. So that's typically how the air weather stripping. That's typically how the report flows. But,
yeah, very easy to read. You have the pictures, so people know exactly what we're talking about here. Like this, for instance, like how this door is damaged. We know it's damaged, but in the real estate world, that's something that we would consider cosmetic. Because you can easily patch or replace a door. But this section typically scares people.
The electrical, yeah, me too. Like when it comes to electrical issues, we don't want to chance anything. We don't want to, and that's the reason we always recommend an electrical contractor, especially when it's things in the panel box. So definitely want to get that addressed.
Yeah. So just based off this, would you say like these items are something a buyer should be worried about?
So when they read in the orange, yes, they should. Those should be concerned. Like the blue. I mean, so I want to preface this by saying, like, the things that I find in the report are areas that need to be addressed. So when I find things and they're noted as a defect, it is the buyer's responsibility to get those things addressed. We have the tiers, and they're to really emphasize the importance of which item, what I would prioritize. So anything when it comes to electrical, you definitely want to get that. You definitely want to get that corrected by a qualified electrician. When it comes to roofing issues, I don't sign off on patchwork. So definitely want to make sure that a roofer has come there and not just your uncle or cousin that know how to lay some shingles or put some shingles in. So those things.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So just so you guys kind of have an idea of what an inspection look like, this is what we're talking about when we say the home inspection. So very, very important to buyers. I always 100% recommend getting your home inspected. Even new construction. So can you kind of talk about some of the things that you've seen, even in new construction homes that were concerns for buyers?
So have you ever watched a new construction home being built, like in your subdivision, maybe like 2 or 3 months?
They throw them up there.
Yeah. So so a lot of the framing, a lot of things, those are done off-site and it's brought on-site. And to get that in line or frame it up, a lot of times they're swinging it from cranes, they're dragging it. I say all that to say because I've seen structural issues. I've seen where, and they're engineered truss systems. I've seen where they've had cracks in them. I've seen where there's been complete separation. I've seen mold in new construction.
Mold, really?
Well, if it's sitting outside, left unattended over time, moisture, uncovered, that moisture can set in. I've seen mold in new construction. A lot of that's hidden in the attics.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah,
Things
sometimes.
that a normal buyer typically would not see because we're not up in the attic when we go view homes.
Right, right. Another thing, another issue that I recently ran into, is terms of ventilation. Not a huge importance placed on ventilation. So, for many people, the condensation, the vent that's in the bathroom is to remove condensation from the bathroom. So when you take a shower, things like that, that's the purpose of it. Now, if that's terminating in the attic, that's allowing that moisture to set into the attic. When those vents aren't connected going to the exterior, that causes a problem over time in the attic. So things like that. Also, grading situations. And when I say grading, I'm talking about the grass outside. It should always, if I'm around the house, it should always slope away from the house, not toward the house. Reason you don't want that because moisture, when it rains, rain is going to take the path of least resistance, so it's going downhill. Moisture in contact with soil creates force on that foundation. So, those are just some of my common new construction finds. When it comes to historic, I actually just left one. Historic houses, they I can really write a book about, so absolutely.
I think I could do a historic house. Like, I don't think, because they're just so old and they might have good bones, but it's just,
You're not bought into the charm of the fireplace and the warmth.
Oh, I like a more modern feel.
Got it. Got it.
Some people love it. Like, they love a historic home. And yeah, they're beautiful, like the design.
Yeah.
But those old pipes and no.
Yeah. It's rare I run into historic homes that are done, and I found some that were rehabbed properly, but you get a lot of contractors out here conning folks. So.
Right.
Kind of corner, so. But that's why you hire an inspector. You want someone to go in there and tell you what's going on with the house. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've had clients get new construction. It's one particular builder who I won't name, but problems since even before we closed on the home. And just this week, they sent me a picture of their closet shelf on the ground, like all their stuff closed, all this on the ground. The first time they just moved into this house, like the end of 2023. But since then, like the HVAC hasn't been working properly. The tiles on the floors are shifting. Like, it's just problem after problem after problem. So we want to highly stress to get your home inspected.
For sure.
Highly. Because we want to see you guys in the best position as possible as homeowners. Because the last thing you want is to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a product and then there are a lot of defects. And then those are costly expenses to you. However, you can get a home warranty, which will cover certain things if there are defects with the home, but you want to go in on a high note. Go in with a peace of mind.
Yeah. One thing, as you were talking, I was just thinking, one thing I want to, I guess, set expectations of what a home inspection is. And, because, I mean, there's, like, I follow a routine, and the routine will allow me to find defects, find the areas of concern. But I want to address what a home inspection is not. So I'm not cutting into walls. And granted, technology has allowed me, some. I have some nice tools that I can go like an infrared scanner. I could check for moisture. I could check if the insulation is, if there's no insulation, things like that behind the walls. But as far as a home inspection, it is a visual observation of the home at said time. So it's not, Derek not going into walls. I am
You're
testing your.
you're not digging up stuff in the backyard, like you're.
Come on, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not doing all that. Yeah, anything. I mean, I have tools that I carry that that I use to access things. But as far as it, go. No, I'm not. I don't do all that. I'm just there to provide an observation of the house. Now I do go into the crawl space. I do go into the attic, and I am looking at those things because those are your structural components. You want to know what's going on with that. I am looking at the plumbing. I am looking at the roofing system, uh, and in the attic how it's performing, ventilation. These are areas that I'm looking at and I'm testing, and I have ways to gauge how it's performing. But as far as like cutting into walls, or uh, you won't catch me putting no gauges on your air conditioner to see how much freon level. Like those aren't tasks that we typically perform. If the unit is not operating properly, I can observe that from the inside. So.
Yeah, we have a comment from Instagram. This is from Jeray. He said, "You found some faults in my new build. We appreciate it." Yeah, the home in Columbiana.
Columbiana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Jeray,
Yeah.
I was just talking about y'all's house, just how stuff has been going on. That's the one about the closet.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, it's just been stuff since day one, but you definitely want to make sure that you are on top of it,
Absolutely.
up and up when you are buying a new home. He said he has PTSD. I can look. I totally get it. We went through a process,
Yeah.
and a home inspection is a part of that process. And it
Absolutely.
typically a lot of lenders want to make sure that you as a buyer get through your home inspection before they order the appraisal on your home.
Yeah.
Because if a lot of people pull out because of the home inspection or they can't get their financing together. But a home inspection is typically number one on that. So yeah.
Yes.
So how busy are you? Like, do you work on weekends? Kind of what's your schedule like if someone wants to book a home inspection with you?
Yes. So mostly during the week. One of the things that one of the things I want to speak on. So this year our focus was adding on services, so that we could be sort of a one-stop shop for a lot of the things that we were pushing out. So like sewer scope being one of them, mold testing. These are just some of the services that we offer. Infrared scanning. These are just some of the services that we offer clients, and it's really just to protect them. Because these are things that we will refer out. So we just brought them in house. So your question was, how do I work? It's generally during the week, mostly during the week. Uh, Balance. That's one of the things that uh, I've had to learn. When an obstacle in entrepreneurship is
Yes,
learning,
work-life balance.
work-life balance, and how important it is to like my mental health. Just having having time to step back, because we can get in, as entrepreneurs, we can get in that hustle mode and just go, 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 go,
Mhm.
go, go, and then you're neglecting things that you should be taking care of. So uh, finding balance is thing. So I don't work weekends. I do work. I mean, I do go throughout the week, but no, we save weekends for family, uh, church, and just refreshing. That way we can start off and just be the best we can throughout the week. At capacity, we're eight to 10 inspections a week, so that's
Mhm.
about capacity for us. So yeah.
What's your busiest season?
Busiest season is usually during the spring through summer. Yeah, that's when showings a little bit prettier. It's pretty
Mhm.
outside. You want to go in houses. Yeah, that's a pretty busy season for me. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's pretty. What about you?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same like when it's hot outside. After the holidays
Mhm.
is when it picks back up, like the spring and summertime. So if you
Yeah,
guys are looking to buy or sell a house, contact me.
give her a call, man. I got some questions for you. Like,
Yeah.
just from the entrepreneurship space, I've seen you. I feel like we kind of came in around the same time, maybe a
Mm.
little close. So watching you grow into the profession, and just find your own lane. Uh, it's interesting to watch. So what shifted you toward the content space? Because I see you a lot. I see you everywhere. Even clients. I always ask because one of the things I want to do is track. How did you find me? Well, how did you find her? Like, and that's a question I generally ask. And they'll tell me, "Hey, I found her on TikTok. I found Chris. She was on TikTok. Like
Yeah,
what do you
I
think?
get that a lot. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of business comes from social media. So for me, it was easy for me. We grew up in the social media era. Like in college, it was like really just starting to get around and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, so it's just been fun to me. Like it's something that I like. It's really creating. I like to create content. I don't like being on social media scrolling because I rarely do that. If I scroll, I try to limit and then I jump off because your mind can get gone on social media. Um,
right.
but I just like to create and I like helping others to create and it's been profitable, honestly. It's kind of like a little business. It turned into like me wanting to be an influencer, but it
Okay,
shifted into me like, okay, I can help others do this and make it profitable. And
nice.
that's what it's been.
Nice. Now, well, it's going well. I mean, it's thoughtfulness put into your content, so
Mhm.
definitely can see it. So keep up the good work, Chris.
Appreciate it. I'm such a creative at heart, honestly. And I feel like real estate is just like a stepping stone to what I really want to do in life.
Okay.
So yeah, I gotta get there. What
Yeah.
that is exactly, I don't know.
Yeah.
You
You.
just never know where life takes you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Matt. So one of the things that um, I've been exploring with is tandem work. So I've been doing. I had my nephew. He's here for the summer. He'll work with me sometimes,
How
and
old is your nephew?
he is 19. Man,
Well, he's good and grown. Yeah, he
he,
can work
man, he
today.
like six. He played basketball for Huntington. He like 6'2". I have him on the crawl space, and it's cool, because uh, helps me kind of get out of my own way in a sense,
Mhm.
in terms of growth, in terms of development. Yeah, so and really just trying out what it would look like to have a team of inspectors, because that's something I aspire to do in the next few years, to have a team where they can support certain parts of Jefferson County, Shelby County, and
All
just
over Alabama.
what.
Hey,
Yeah, so
right?
so yeah, so definitely growth is one of the things that's top of mind, and just trying that out in iterations and adjusting and tweaking my training modules. So even like going back to the routines, like that's purposeful. uh,
Mhm.
and really, just treating good inspection services like a business. That's something that
Yeah.
I've grown into, uh, yeah, over the last 3 years. So what what is our mission? Educating the client before they buy it, so you don't deal with unplanned surprises.
Mhm.
Just being forward with the way I want to go in this industry. So yeah.
Yeah, I love to see it. I can't wait to watch the growth. Like you said, we kind of got started around the same time. And
Yeah.
you guys, a little extra. When I first met Derrick, he was still working and he was just doing inspections on the side. He was like, I'm gonna go on my lunch break, I'm gonna sneak out the office. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and then
had, I had to listen. I had to get. I, I saw the writing on the wall. I had to get away from because I was doing it. I was getting too comfortable with doing it. Like I go do it like general